Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Fantasy Six Pack to talk about Thursday night football. The Buffalo Bills head to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Over under right now, I believe, is at 48.5 points, and that's going to come into play. And also, we're going to do this thing backwards. And I'm not saying, when Jim Carrey would do like, yep, yep, yep. No, I'm going to give you the final score, and then we're going to work our way back. And I'm going to tell you how all these points are going to come about because I do think this game is an over, which a lot of the recent betting trends kind of prove my point here. Before I get into that, make sure you get to the website at Fantasy Six Pack. They have a whole heck of a lot going on. And I want to say this, week one, from a content perspective and a fun and a talking to people, was a massive success. And that's thanks to all of you who watch the videos, who comment, even the dummies on TikTok who drag me for having, granted, I have 5 or 6 things right and touchdown props, parlays and stuff. But your one guy didn't get, you said he was going to get 50 yards, but he only got, it's okay. I know people are going to do that. But for everybody else, even the haters, I love it. We're here where it's an open dialogue. But as I was saying, let's get back to Fantasy Six Pack rankings, projections, IDP cheat sheet stuff. And get this. Everything is going down in the Discord. That's where you're going to want to be. You can get into it for free, but there are some premium channels, and that's where we're sharing all our thoughts, ideas, lineup constructions, ownership percentages for us DFS slappies and sports betting people. But this website has built its foundation from seasonal stuff, dynasty stuff, rankings, all of that. So hey, pop over if you're a fan of me, Keith, or Dave. This is where you're going to want to be for DFS and sports betting. Let's talk about this game, and trust me when I say this, and I'm not going to break this promise. We're going to be 8 minutes max because I'm going to zoom through this because I have such strong feelings about who's going to win, how many points are going to be scored, and I have all the touchdowns doled out perfectly, which if we're going to bet on it, someone could win $1 million tonight. Why not you, right? So let's get into it. When we look at this game, kickoff 8:15, as I said, Josh Allen, Tua, which way are we going to go? Both guys are at play, but let's start with Josh Allen. Let me grab my notes here. Josh Allen at Miami, they're 9th overall against opposing quarterbacks, 17 grand on FanDuel, 11 grand on DraftKings, 22 to 23 completions, around 240 yards, and I have him for 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So that seems like that should be the MVP captain spot, but wait till we get to, the what is it, Tyreek Hills of the world and things along those lines. Let's talk about Tua, looking at Buffalo, 17th overall against opposing quarterbacks, 14 grand on FanDuel, 9-4 on DK. Tua going to have a very good night in his own right, 23 to 24 completions, 290 yards. I wouldn't be shocked to see Tua get to, 300 yards and lose. I buried the lead. I was going to give you the final score. Buffalo going to win this thing 28 to 24, and it's going to be over. That means there's going to be a lot of yardage and touchdowns to go around in this thing. So Tua, to me, absolutely in play. The only thing that's going to hold him back from, maybe being the most bestest, as a little kid would say, at the position is that one rushing touchdown Josh Allen is going to have over him. But Tua, very good play in this one. I forgot to mention Josh Allen, another 40 yards on the ground and that one touchdown. When we look at the running backs here, I'll get to Devon Shane. And he's questionable, and they're going to test it out pregame, so it's going to be dicey. But that's not going to stop me from giving you, personal projections for what he's going to do. But let's start with the Buffalo backs first and foremost. James Cook in Miami. Miami's 15th overall against RBs. Cook, 12 grand on FanDuel, 9 grand on DraftKings, 15 to 16 carries, 70 yards, 2 to 3 receptions for around 25 to 30 yards, and Cook will find the end zone with the rock with a rushing touchdown. So if you're keeping score at home, write that down. Cook with a running back touch, or a rushing touchdown, I should say. Sorry. Ty Johnson, not really in play, and that's the kind. I'm not saying I dislike Ty Johnson, but that's the kind of fat I can cut from the video. So we're not here all day, right? We're here 8 minutes and bang, we'll move on. When we look at the Miami running backs, Mostert will not be playing, unfortunately. He was hurt, so it's up to Jeff Wilson and Devon Achane. Again, Achane he's going to test it out pregame. That's dicey, as I said. It could go either way, but let's start with Achane. Buffalo, 19th overall against opposing running backs. Achane, 12-5 on FanDuel, 9-6 on DK, 10 to 11 carries, 50 yards, a rushing touchdown. So to me, if he's playing, he's got to command our attention. This isn't seasonal. This isn't seasonal football or seasonal, formatted football or dynasty football. We can take it or leave it in DFS. So Devon is going to be, highly sought after ownership percentages wise in DFS. So please keep your ear to the streets, double check, triple check, keep refreshing leading up to kickoff here, because everything's going to happen with him pregame. Fingers crossed he plays. He's a young enough kid. He'll be okay. Jeff Wilson, though, if let's say Shane's not active here, Jeff Wilson will be the guy to score that rushing touchdown. I don't think let's say Devon plays and Wilson plays. I don't think they both score a rushing touchdown. So whoever is active at the starting running back, that's who will have the touchdown on the ground. Wilson, 6-5 on FanDuel, 2-4 on DK, 6-7 carries, 30 yards, 1 to 2 receptions, around 10 yards. Again, those numbers will be bumped up and boosted if Devon is not playing, but I can't, make a video under the guise, well, Achane is not going to play. If he's active, I look like a dummy. Probably look like a dummy anyways, but I'll feel better about myself, giving this information to you that way. When we look at the wide receivers, there's a lot of good players in this position, right? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shaker, Keon Coleman is back. I love Mac Hollins, and as a guy who doesn't have hair, Mac Hollins he needs a commercial. One of those what are those commercials? Head and Shoulders commercials. But hey, I digress. Khalil Shaker against Miami, 18th overall against opposing wide receivers. 10-5 on FanDuel, 6-2 on DK, 5 to 6 targets, 4 to 5 receptions, 45 to 50 yards, I think is fair enough. As of right now, he's averaging around 14 yards a reception average, so I think that is great. Curtis Samuel, not much. You're looking at 15 to 20 yards. Mac Hollins, I think Mac Hollins, 2 to 3 receptions, could get to that 25 to 30 receiving yard mark if possible. What about the rookie Keon Coleman, the yellow coat guy? I saw there was a mural of Diggs and Josh Allen. I'm wasting time saying this, but I had to get it. I had to tell you this. That they have Diggs. They changed the number, I think, but they also painted that yellow puffy coat that Keon Coleman got. So that was fun. He's $10,000 on FanDuel, and he should be heavily involved in this one. 5 to 6 targets, 4 to 5 receptions, 55 to 60 yards. Keon, so far it's only one game, averaging around 12.8 yards a reception. When we get to the Miami running backs, I'm not going to bother with Braxton Hill. If you want to toss him in, I don't even know. Maybe, again, I told you I could be a dummy from time to time. I don't know. Is Braxton Hill returning punts, kicks along those lines? So he could be of use, and he's $7,000 on FanDuel, $1,200 on DK. But Tyreek Hill, Buffalo, 11th overall against wide receivers, 16-5 on FanDuel. That is fantastic. I don't know, maybe it's not. Tyreek Hill, 11-6 on DK, 10 to 11 targets, 7 to 8 receptions, 110 yards, and a reception, and a receiving touchdown. When we look at Jalen Waddle, $11,000 on FanDuel, 8-6 on DK, 8-9 targets, 5-6 receptions, 75 yards, and he catches a touchdown. I do think, however, that for some odd reason, it's just, I feel it right here. I'm pointing to my gut, but you can't see it, so I'm doing up here. This could be a Jalen Waddle game. We know Tyreek Hill is going to get, a ton of work, a ton of action, but the give and take of an NFL week to week, game to game could be different, or it should be different. So Tyreek Hill is a stone cold stud each week, but we could see a case here where, every other week or something like that. Who knows? But Jalen could be a Jalen Waddle game. Just be mindful of that. And if you're like me, you're going to put multi entries, multi lineups, multi entries. Make sure you put Waddle at an MVP captain spot today, just in case. That goes without saying for Tyreek Hill. James Cook deserves an MVP captain spot. And let's move on to the tight ends, and we'll get the heck out of here. We're coming up on 10 minutes. I told you 8. I'm a liar. What can I say? Dalton Kincaid, get this though, Miami's first overall against guarding tight ends. In a way, when you got Josh Allen as your quarterback, in the way that the Buffalo Bills are like a fine-tuned machine. Dalton Kincaid, 9.5 on FanDuel, 7.2 on DK, 6-7 targets, 4 or 5 receptions, 45 yards. When we look at the Miami tight ends, Jonnu Smith, Durham Smythe, nothing there. I got Jonnu for, two catches for 20 yards. When we get to the kickers and DST, not much action there. I would prefer, Tyler. I would prefer both of them in the same lineup. Why not? Because of the final score, as I said, 28-24. We're looking at probably 7 extra points split between the two guys. 1 or 2 field goals made between the two guys. So it's not bad to get those guys, those kickers, in your lineups, because it's almost, assured that they're going to be kicking and accumulating points. As I said, Buffalo wins this one 28-24. It will be over, is, if I'm not mistaken, 28 plus 24 equals 52. The over-under sits at 48.5 points right now. And you know why? Over in 5 of the Buffalo Bills' last 6 games, and the over has hit in 13 of Miami's last 19 games against Buffalo. And this one's the icing on the cake. Buffalo, they're 11-1 straight up against Miami their last 12 games. So again, give me the over. Give me Buffalo to win this one 28-24. If you wanted to, you could take Buffalo, plus 1.5. They're getting points right now, which is nuts. But hey, we move on. Be good, be safe, and let's do this again over the weekend. Make sure you tune in. Fantasy Six Pack, the Sunday social hour starts early, but you can find me there live at noon on Sunday. I will talk to you soon. Bottom of the barrel will be out tomorrow. Buffalo wins this one 28-24. See you later. Bye.